I'm Anthony Sills, and I'm the one.
Welcome to I Am the One, Entrepreneur Edition, a show that explores the journey of business owners who decided to be the one to make life better for the people they serve. I'm your host, Sonia Thompson, and today's guest is Anthony Sills. Anthony is the founder of Professional Pen Writers, a copywriting agency where he helps businesses effectively communicate with their ideal customers. Through blog posts, web copy, white papers, and other content, Anthony writes the words that attracts and converts an audience. Anthony's got a ton of information to share about communication and the sometimes bumpy road of entrepreneurship. So I'm really excited to share his story with you today. But before we get into the interview, I want to let you know that this episode is brought to you by Try Business School. Get the information you need to build the business of your dreams, step by step. Visit trybizschool.com, that's trybizschool.com, and get started with your free e-course, the 4 people you need to build a successful business. Now, let's do this. Here's Anthony. Hey Anthony, how's it going?
How are you, Sonia?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for joining me today.
I'm happy to be here.
Good. All right, let's go ahead and dive right in. So you are the founder, the owner of Professional Pen Copywriting. Tell us a little bit about that business and what it is that you do.
Well, Professional Pen Copywriting is a full-service copywriting firm. We specialize in working with business-to-business firms that are marketing their software as a service or technology offerings to other businesses. So we help them to get their message out is basically what we do.
And what is the problem that you solve for the people that you work with?
There's a few problems. The biggest problem, the one that kind of ties in with our mission and what we do for all of our clients, regardless if that's what they come to us for or not, is that there's so many companies right now in today's marketplace that, they have a great service or product offering, but they're not communicating in a fashion that their customer understands. So they may have the greatest solution for, 10% of the world's problem or 25% of the world's problem, but they're not letting people know that, what they have is available or that it's so great or whatever. So I work with companies to get the word out about what they have for the people that can benefit from it is basically the short answer.
How many people do you think actually have that problem? They've got a really awesome product, but they don't really know how to communicate and let the world know that this is exactly what you're looking for.
If I had to go with my own estimation, I would think that most of today's business owners have this problem, whether they know it or not. 90% of the people that are out here, promoting a product or trying to help people, they're unaware that there's a better way to market their product or service, or that they are product focused instead of customer focused. So, you'd be surprised, but I run into this issue with a lot of companies,
And what made you decide that you were going to be the one to solve that problem for them?
I guess to answer that, I'll have to go a little bit back into the history of my company.
Please do.
So ultimately, I started out doing resumes for people that were out of work or between jobs or, laid off. And so in that sense, I was taking their raw information and presenting that in a way that was marketable to people that may employ them. So, pretend if Sonia, for whatever reason, is not a big CEO and she's out of work, I'm going to present Sonia's past experiences in a way that would make another person want to meet with you and hire you. In essence, what I found out later is that's the lifeblood of direct response, okay? Present something and get somebody to take action on that something. So what I realized, I guess, maybe around the same time is that the people that were looking for work, they wanted this resume and they would never ever call me for like 5 more years. Um, and also that businesses need this same type of help. Around this time, I kind of became aware that there were businesses that, they may have big marketing budgets, but they don't know how to communicate what it is that they offer the world in a concise, clear fashion to get people to buy it. So I guess what prompted me to step up was to say, hey, I can do the same thing I'm doing for, these 5 or 10 people for 5 or 10 businesses. And if I do it that way, it will touch more people. So that was a little bit of the impetus that, hey, the businesses are the people that if you can help them, that helps employ more people and, sell more product. So ultimately, it helped more people. It made a better difference in my bottom line, and it also made a better difference in the amount of people I could help. So that's the answer.
Now, were you a journalist by training? Did that help you and give you any additional confidence or thoughts on this will be able to help you actually fulfill this need that exists?
Absolutely not. It makes me more neurotic.
Why is that?
As a journalist, every story you want to ask, who, what, why, when, where, how. You want to be unbiased. So from the content marketing standpoint or the consultant standpoint, part of what I'm offering is my expertise or my know-how. So I want to be unbiased. I want to be biased at that point, pardon me. I want to say, this is what I know. This is why it works. This may or may not work for you, but this is why I think it's a good idea. The journalist in me says, well, no, you can't take a position or, you have to remain unbiased and fact-free. But the essence is you're still looking for the story that resonates. You're still looking for the facts, the important part of the story, and how does it help the person you're sharing the story with. So, there is some crossover there. And I'm appreciative that I have those skills, I guess.
So your training is a blessing in some senses and a curse in others, and you just have to balance that out.
It's a little bit of both. You have to know when it's helpful and when it's, holding you back from getting to the kernel or the nugget of the actual story.
Very cool. All right. So you've been in business for a few years now. And I know a lot of times whenever people are thinking about getting started as an entrepreneur, starting their own business, a lot of times they want to wait until the conditions are perfect. Everything is lined up exactly the way they want them to. And then they'll make the leap. Then they'll go ahead and get started and start building their business. That doesn't always the case. So can you just share with us a little bit about what was going on in your life? What were the circumstances surrounding your decision? And was it that perfect little everything wrapped up in a bow the way you would have liked? Or was it a little different?
There were no signs that this was the thing to do. There was no writing on the wall. There was no, encouragement from family. If anything, I had certain people that were very close to me that said, hey, is this the best thing to do? Should you be doing this? Or, you have this degree. Maybe you should fall back on that. Or, you should do this. And so at the time that I started this business, it was very much a critical decision of, do I listen to other people or do I listen to myself, this voice in my head? There are these people that I think I can help, and I think I can design my own lifestyle of pursuing my passion and using the skills that God's blessed me with. But also I have so many people that I respect saying, you're out of your mind. What are you doing? You're crazy. So definitely when I started my business, there was no sense of you're doing the right thing. You're following the right path. It was definitely a flyer as far as, all rational checkpoints. I was doing something that wasn't maybe the smartest thing to do.
Right. So what happened? What made you go against the advice of all these people who were close to you? They're saying, no, don't do this. Maybe you should think of something else. What was it that said, you know what, I'm going to do this anyway?
The short answer is that it felt right. You know, here are some people I can help on the one hand. Here is this skill set or these tactics or you know this toolbox that I'm equipped with. People say find your passion. I think that's a bunch of crap on a lot of levels. I think that if you can find your passion and you can definitely you know produce a viable business out of that, I'm not saying don't follow it. I'm saying that should not be your first step. You know, here were some people I could help. Here was something I was already doing that I could pivot and iterate that into something new, but slightly different. So it wasn't as scary, you know. I saw some people that I could help. I saw where I had a way to help them, and I saw that it was only a little bit different from what I had been doing. So maybe if I would have known everything I know now, I would have just left it alone and never tried. But fortunately for myself and some of my clients that, you know, I took a leap. I said, hey, this feels right. So the short answer is that it felt right at that time that, you know, the need I saw and what I saw I was equipped with, I guess to speak to your metaphor, your trope, I felt I was the one. At that time, I thought that I could make a difference and help some people with what they were trying to do, and I thought that would help me as well. You know,
well, I'm glad you moved forward. I'm glad that you did raise your hand and said that say I am the one. Your clients are too, I'm sure.
So, well, sometimes I doubt it, but my clients remind me, and sometimes when you get results, you say, hey, I am the one. But, you know, whenever you jump out on that ledge and say, I'm going to do something I'm not 100% sure about, you can wonder if you are the one. But you have to revert to that clarity you had when you took the risk and say, you know, that's still legit, that's still real, that's still my situation, and that's still me. So right. Hopefully I'm not wrong. Hopefully I am the one and I'm helping some people out there.
You are. Well, just go along those same lines. What was your biggest fear that you had whenever you were getting started?
My biggest fear was, you know, am I the one? Am I the right person that is equipped? You know, am I worthy to help these people? What if I'm a fraud? What if I'm a total imposter and, you know, my copy's not that good, or I don't know what I think I know about marketing, or what if I can't make a difference in this person's life? And luckily, as I've stumbled along and learned my way and you know, done business, I've run into people that, you know, not every single client, but people have said, hey, you made a difference, you helped me. I couldn't have made it from this point to that point without working with you. So, you know, it erases that fear, but it's still there.
You're not a fraud at all. And it's good that your clients give you that validation. They let you know that you are coming back. And it's always great whenever they purchase from you again. Because if they thought you were a fraud or that you sucked, they definitely wouldn't come back to you for a second time or a third or a fourth time.
No, after once they would be done. So that a lot of times, and I don't want to say this for the people that are more artistic, but, and I know you have a lot of different people viewing your show, but, you know, if we're talking about a straight commerce transaction, people will not pay you for something that's not valuable. They may do it once. That's what's called a scam artist or somebody that fleeces you. But if you have a customer and they've done 2 or 3 or 5 transactions with you, you have something valuable to offer the world. So that was something that I wrestled with for a while is, hey, you know, even when you have those moments, you're not a fraud. You are providing something that is benefiting someone else. So, you know, if I can say anything that makes any sense to anybody else, that's what it is that, you know, if you're doing something and people are paying you, or even if they're not paying you yet, they're continuing to seek you out, you're offering something that has a value. So don't discount that, because that's one of the biggest things I wrestle with is, hey, is what I do even worth anything? And if you don't recognize that at first, you can send yourself into a path that's a trap, you know?
Can you share with us a failure that you had during the course of running your business? I think it's good to get people comfortable with the idea of failing. So the more we share them, the more we're able to let other people know that it's okay. Life still goes on and we get up and we're actually often better as a result of it.
Wow. I don't want to, you know, you're interviewing me like I have at least one foot in the game. So I don't want to tell on myself too much. But for anybody that's out there feeling hesitant or that's worried, part of my unwritten job description is that if I don't fail several times a day, multiple times a day, I'm not doing my job. Okay? As a writer, I should be pitching ideas to editors, to outlets that, you know, in a perfect world, they're not going to take, you know, any more than 50%, maybe less than that. So I'm going to be presenting ideas that don't get accepted. I'm going to be trying to sell a product for a client that some people don't buy. So there's going to be failure in your route. I think the best thing is, you know, and it goes back to your question, what can you learn from the experiences that you went through? So one of my biggest failures, I'd have to say, as a writer, as a marketer, as someone that depends on timelines and deadlines, is early in my career, there was, you know, to be totally transparent, there was a time where I should have had something turned in by a certain date and time, and, you know, that time didn't happen. I blew a deadline, to be short with it. Now, all the emotions that go into that and the reasoning behind it is not important to your question or my answer, but basically what I learned from it is that, hey, things happen, you know, stuff happens. But your client is a person like you're a person, or the person you gave your word to, they're a grown woman or a grown man just as you are. So what I should have done in that instant that I didn't learn till later is own it as soon as you can. You know, you say what happened and why and when you can rectify it and how. And, you know, if that's still going to work, fine. If not, how can I make it better? But, you know, sulking off into the distance, you know, oh, I missed my deadline, but I just won't answer the phone, and that means it didn't happen. No, it's already real. You blew the deadline. So that was the biggest thing I got out of my failure was that, hey, if you make a mistake and you learn from it, it was just an expensive mistake. It wasn't worthless. So I don't know if that answers your question.
It does, and thank you for your honesty. I mean, we're not.
I don't want to tell too much of my business, but you know, I've made a few mistakes.
It's all part of the process. I've made plenty myself, so you're not alone. What has been your proudest moment? Because just as we all fall, we have those mountaintop experiences as well. What has been one of your proudest ones?
I think my proudest moment has everything to do with my business and my choices, and also absolutely nothing to do with it. I had a loved one, my grandmother. I took care of her towards the end of her life for 2 or 3 years. And there was a point where she was on hospice and she wasn't doing that great. And, you know, the word was out for family members, you know, visit while you have the chance and that sort of thing. And I think one of the biggest upsides of choices I've made, of the decision to be an entrepreneur, is that I had more flexibility with my schedule than people that may have been, you know, they loved, you know, some of them were her children, but they did not have the wherewithal or the say at their job to say, I'm going to take a week off, or I'm going to work this flex schedule. They had to be there 9 to 5, and I don't take anything away from them for doing that, but I felt proud that, hey, this business that I started, independent of the money I made or, you know, the bling and all that stuff people start businesses for, this has enabled me to do something for someone that I care about that other people that I look up to weren't able to do. Mm-hmm. So I think my proudest moment with my business was to say, I'm in control of my time. I run the show, at least as far as this situation goes. And that was one of the minutes I was happiest to be a business owner. You know, most of the other times you own the problems. This was a time where I said, I'm happy to be the boss because I'm taking the day off and hang out with my grandma because I can do that. Whereas so many times you say, I'm going to just, you know, own this other person's mistake. This was a time where it felt great to be the business owner. So that was one of the times I felt very happy to be, you know, that guy that was an entrepreneur.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. And it's one of the things that I think so often people take for granted, that things do pop up and life takes its front seat. So if you have the flexibility to be able to handle it, that's always a beautiful thing.
Yeah. Hey, listen, if you're going to be an entrepreneur and you have not ingrained or internalized that concept, you're in for a world of pain. Life happens.
It does.
I'm a very frank guy. There's another way I can say that, but it's not for this podcast. Hey, things pop up. So, if you plan to publish a post or you plan to initiate a new project or interview someone or whatever the tangible, takeaway task may be, you need to be flexible enough to roll with the punches that life throws you. That's a big part of, especially what I've learned as being an entrepreneur. I'm responsible for everything. If I promise you a timeline or a deliverable, no matter what my employee says or my consultant, I own that. I'm the business owner. So that being said, there's a lot of things you need to learn of running a business that have nothing to do with, if I'm a sketch artist or I draw, there's a lot of things I need to learn that have nothing to do with drawing. They have to do with, accounting, setting appointments, persuasion. So just being a business owner is very multifaceted, and I appreciate the journey that it takes me on. Sometimes it pisses me off and I'm frustrated, but if you were to ask me on most days, I love it, and I think it makes me a better person to try to build my business and do what I'm doing.
Wonderful. Any parting words of wisdom for anybody who is working on building their business now or thinking of starting a business?
I have no wisdom at all. I don't consider myself wise. I have these two things. Don't give up and learn from your mistakes. Everything else is up to the threshold of how much pain you can take or how many times somebody can slam a door in your face. But independent of those factors, if you can learn from your mistakes and stay energized, you have a lifetime to build a business, to learn, to grow. But if you're in it for, I want to be a millionaire tomorrow, I want a venture capitalist to buy me out, that's not the way that it happens. If you purchase most biographies of most business people, that's not the way they got rich. That's not the way that their business spread. So right. I say to everybody, if you can keep going and have a positive attitude and not quit, then you have the most important skill. As far as my experience, and I'm far from having all the answers. But if you don't give up, I think you're on your way. That's all I can offer.
Very wise words. You do have plenty of words of wisdom to share.
So you say, Sonia.
What can we expect to see from you in professional pen copywriting in the future?
In the future, and I hope you and all your audience members and your viewers hold me to this, I've been working on something that's very close to my heart, a passion project. A book on communication, persuasive communication, and I don't want to spill the beans, but it's still very close to the vest. But I have a book that'll be coming out soon, so I hope that anybody that's interested in anything I had to say or that adheres to what you teach on your blog and your website, because I follow, what you promote. If they're a school of any of that, I think they may benefit or may like it. If not, tell them to email me. Maybe we'll see about a refund. But I have a book coming out, and I want everybody to buy it. So
very cool.
That's what you can expect. And other than that, I'll be continuing to blog on LinkedIn and blogging for my clients. You can catch me on the web, anthonysills.com. I don't know.
All right. Well, I will have
whatever's next is a surprise to me as much as it is to everyone else.
Well, I will have a link to your contact information at anthonysills.com in the show notes so people will be able to find you easily so they can get help on or learn some tips on how to properly communicate about their business to the people who need exactly what it is that they have to offer. Now, before I let you go, I do have a bonus question for you. Are you ready?
Okay.
All right.
I'm ready.
All right. So, I want you to deliver a line from a movie. I mean, there's all kinds of great lines, and a lot of thing about movies as a writer I'm sure that you can appreciate is the writings and the one-liners from movies that just sort of stick with you. So go ahead and deliver for us a line from a movie that just kind of just can't leave, hasn't been able to leave your head.
It may not be the greatest line or the best movie, but how about this? In Friday, I don't know if anybody's familiar, Felicia that was trying to borrow the VCRs, and she kept bothering Craig. When they just said, "Bye, Felicia," They wanted to get out of here. Leave me alone. Bye, Felicia. I text people that sometimes when they want to borrow money or they want to come over my house and eat and I don't want to be bothered. I text them, bye, Felicia. That's one of the lines I like. This bye, Felicia.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing. Much appreciated. And I will also try to have a link for that clip in the show notes as well, so we can compare how Anthony did in delivering that line in comparison to Craig and them and Friday.
I hope. Listen, Craig and Friday, he got paid a lot of money to do that. I hope you guys don't hold me too much to the veracity of my impersonation.
Veracity. Well, thank you, Andy. This has been wonderful. It's been so much fun. Thank you so much for stopping by and sharing your words of wisdom with us.
Thank you so much, Sonia. I had a ball talking to you.
All right. Anthony had lots of cool things to share, but there was one thing in particular that stood out to me. And that brings us to today's I Am the One challenge. It's great to invest the time in learning from others, but you've got to apply those lessons if you want to make them work for you. So based upon Anthony's insights, here's today's challenge question for you. What can you do to increase the effectiveness of your message to your customers? How can you tweak the way you talk about your products and services to make it easier for your customers to understand how what you have can benefit them? Think about it and then head on over to IamTheOne.fm where you'll find this episode. There you'll see I've prepared a worksheet for you to help you address the challenge question for your business. Now, once you've got your answer, leave in the comments on the show notes page or even tweet me at Sonia E. Thompson and let me know which words you're going to use to win customers. Now, would you take a moment to leave this show a rating and review in iTunes? That way you can give me some feedback to let me know what you think of it, and it would go a long way towards helping other entrepreneurs find this show. Until next time, keep working on building your dream business so you can make life better. Somebody's waiting on you. Thanks for watching.